You know, this time of the year, most people aren't on the water. One of the reasons I really like to fish in the wintertime, you're actually targeting some of the biggest fish that you can catch all year long. You know, they stocked up in the fall, they've eaten all the shad, they're plump, they're getting ready to spawn. So you've got the mix of full belly plus girth from eggs. And you know, you can hook into some of these bass and they're just as wide, if not wider circumference than they are long. And it's just so much fun when you hook into one of these big fish. The water temp is, right now we're looking at 38 and a half. So, I mean, it's under 39-degree water up here where we took off. Typically in the winter, you know, you're targeting suspended fish. You know, they kind of get dormant, they kind of just lurk around and suspend. And the way to really target them, we're going to go through a few different techniques today, but two of my favorite, and one of them we've actually banned from the Bassmaster Elite Series tour, but it is the Alabama rig. It's a 5 bait spreader that you put 5 different swim baits on, and it's just a big group of swim baits going through like a ball of bait, and it just kind of sits in that middle of the water column, right where the fish are, and they really can't refuse it when it runs by them. The other bait that I would use in tournaments is a jerk bait. When you jerk it, it's going to stop in that water column, and it's not going to rise, it's not going to fall, and you just want to leave it there and be patient. And that's really the key to the wintertime is slow down, slowly retrieve, and be ready, because you're going to catch some fish. There we go. That's a good fish right there. Hey, buddy. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. I caught on that Alabama rig. I threw it right up to them tires, and sure enough. Uh-oh. Let's see here. Let's not get that one in you. Get that one out of you. That's a good quality fish right there. That's what Tenkiller's full of right there. You know, good solid 3-pound fish, and so I'm saying if you get 5, I mean, you're gonna have a 15-pound bag. Awesome. That was fun. All right, broke the ice. Let's see if we get another one on this. I typically like to fish tires and stuff like that when it's sunny in the wintertime, just because they can retain heat a little bit, and they, you know, the fish will suspend up underneath them and they use it as shade and everything else. We came here, it's overcast, cold, and caught the first fish of the day just suspended up underneath them. But you know, there's a lot of things underneath them tires, the algae and bait fish and everything else, so fish can really utilize it. See, I was thinking more likely we'd get bit on the point than the tires, but it was definitely worth a shot. The majority of the fish you're going to catch this time of the year will be suspended. You're going to be going down the bank around points, and you're going to see fish, you know, 10 feet off the bottom. And it seems like the colder the water, they either get pushed right up to the bank, but those ones aren't the ones we're really targeting. The ones that you know, we're targeting here are going to be backed off, and the colder the water, the deeper they are. So it's easier to find, you know, if you can get in that 40, we're going to look for like 40, 42-degree water today. I think that's going to be the key. Once it gets any colder than that, it's harder to get your baits down deep enough to really trigger those bigger fish. So we can find that water column in that, you know, the surface temp's 40, 42, I think they'll be down in that 6 to 8 foot suspended range, and that's where we'll catch fish. Largemouth. He ate that one. I would put on a bait that you can go and cover a lot of water, because you're not going to find a whole lot of fish just grouped up in one spot. You might, but you're going to catch a lot of individual fish. And really the best way to do it is to throw that 5-rig spreader, the Alabama rig. Little guy, I can hardly hold you. My fingers are so frozen. But I'll tell you, it's so fun. It is so much fun. It's a really heavy rig when your fingers don't work so well. It's one thing when it's cold, it's another thing when it's cold and windy. But it does keep you warm at the same time, because it's a lot of work to throw the Alabama rig. With the wind chill right now, it's definitely freezing, because my fingers feel like they could shatter if a fish bites. So, oh man. This is the Alabama rig. We got some spinnerbait blades. It's overcast today, and when it's overcast, I like to throw a little bit of extra flash on it and put some blades. We have a couple different types of swim baits on it. You can mix and match. It's kind of the beauty of this thing. This is one of those deals, you start shallow and just work your way back. When you start finding those fish on your graph, try to think about keeping that, you know, this whole Alabama rig in that strike zone. So sometimes I'll be paralleling the bank, sometimes I'll be casting towards the bank, and really the fish will kind of tell you what you need to do. So we decided to run down the lake a little bit further even, and we're looking at 42.38 on water temp. It's getting warmer. But you know, the big thing is getting out of that nasty weather. I mean, it's blowing 15 miles an hour out there on the main lake where we were fishing a minute ago, and it was getting to the point where I thought maybe I'd let go of my rod if I swung hard enough, because my fingers hurt so bad. So kind of getting out of the wind a little bit. And again, we started in the back of the creek and we're going to work our way out. And you just know when you take a major creek like this, the fish are in it. You just got to find where. And so we'll just kind of slowly work our way out until we come across them. Little guy. There's a little itty bitty guy. That's all right though, I'll take it. Oh man. I just bumped it right there. As soon as we hit from that little tiny rock to, you know, like chunk rock to a little bit thicker rock, I mean, it's definitely some sort of transition. Hopefully we run into some more fish right here. There we go. Yeah, a little bit better. Boy, my hands are so numb I can hardly have the strength to hold a fish. Let me get some pliers and assistance on this one. There we go. Yeah. All right, buddy. Thanks for playing. All right. One of the big things that I like to do this time of the year, and especially during competition, is throw a jerk bait. This is a suspending bait, and this one right here is by Ima Lures. It's called the Flit, and what it does is it allows you to jerk it in the water, but then suspend. It'll stay in that water column and just slowly sinks. And to keep it so it just kind of stays up and really suspends, I do a couple tricks. I use a fluorocarbon leader, and I use a a line that floats. It's like a braided line. And once that fluorocarbon kind of gets it down to sink, that braid kind of holds it back up. So once it gets down, it actually brings the tip of the bait back up. So when you're waiting, it just gives a little bit motion in that same spot, and that can trigger bites. Let's try some jerkbait again. Ooh. Yep, on jerkbait. Oh. Oh, stay on there. Ooh. That's awesome. There we go. If you can stand to come out here in the cold, and you know, a couple things that I'd like to emphasize: you're going to be out here fishing for big fish. You know, it's going to be windy. Most of the places we're going to try to fish are going to be where we can go with the wind, so the wind's to our back. The other thing is, you know, if the main lake's not really working for you, go into back some of these pockets, and I say go all the way to the back of the pocket and work your way to the mouth if possible. Somewhere in between, you're going to run across fish, and once you figure that out, you can kind of pattern it through the lake. You know, the big thing I want to emphasize is, you know, be safe, wear your life jackets, bring a buddy, don't go fish by yourself this time of the year. But be ready to catch some fish. It's so much fun. Lake Tenkiller. Awesome. Wintertime fishing.